What is your bold crypto prediction?
People are just way too negative on London.
Does crypto feature for future money?
First of all, just the payment bit is what people building in cryptos usually get wrong. Did you send me a con? No. Use this paper as money or I will kill you.
I want to know your favorite story in here. We are here with award-winning author Ronit Ghose, Future Finance book, lovely book, and also head of Future Finance at Citi Bank. Thank you very much for joining us.
Martin, thank you so much for having me in one of my favorite restaurants.
Well, where are we?
We're in Chutney Mary.
Yeah.
This is the current restaurant is in St. James's. But I say current because I first went to Chutney Mary about 20 years ago when it was down the King's Road.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the old, it's not the oldest, but it's one of the older Indian restaurants in London. And
did you know it's their 35th birthday?
I know now because you told me.
I don't know now. But it's amazing because obviously when it first came out, Indian food was very different. And this was like the first restaurant that really made it like that high end.
Yeah. 35 years ago. Wow. That was...
Were you even born?
You're too kind. I was at college 35 years ago. It's scary, right?
As we're here now, would love you to obviously pick your starter, your main, your dessert, and obviously pick for me. Maybe we'll share.
You sure about this?
I am trusting you on this, okay?
Because I'm pretending to be on a diet. You can see it's all working, but I'm pretending to be on a diet, okay?
So am I.
So, okay, excellent. Then we're on the same page because I think for our main course, we're going to go for a masala dosa.
Okay.
Now, that's a dish from the south of India, and it's just quite a nice, it's a bit like, it's probably underselling it to call it a crepe, but it's like an Indian version of a crepe. It's quite a light dish, and we'll just have some, like a tray of papad and crudités to kick us off, and we're going to have something really naughty at the end.
Very naughty.
We're going to have a kulfi.
That's brilliant. I know, really. And do you know what? You even have something in your book. Chutney Mary is an iconic restaurant specialising in Indian food, which has relocated in 2015 to St. James's Street from its King's Road address. We're not far from the Mayfair streets of London's hedge fund world. There we go. So it even got
a mention in my book. There are about, I think, 8 restaurants that get mentioned in the book, or 7 or 8 restaurants. And Chutney Mary got a mention because a former friend, current friend, former client of mine, who was a hedge fund investor, had left the hedge fund world to set up an AI company way before AI was fashionable. And he pinged me, said, Ronit, I'm building this business. I heard you're all into, at the time I hadn't really got into crypto and Web3. I was still in my kind of Fintech phase. This is like 10 years ago. And he said, I want to meet you to talk about this business I'm building, which is all about using AI to track fraud in many ways. And we met in the bar of this restaurant. Yeah.
Does crypto feature for future money?
It absolutely features. There's a whole section of the book on crypto. I tell the story of crypto and other aspects of finance through stories of people. So if you read the book expecting it to be an academic book, you're going to be disappointed. If you read it thinking it's going to be like a white paper, you're going to be disappointed. What I wanted to focus on are the individuals, the people who bring our industry to life, whether it's Web3 or Fintech. They just bring it to life. The people who build businesses and have this idea and then put ideas into action. That's kind of what my book's all about.
So, starters arrived. Do you want to explain what we have?
Yeah, this is papadum this is very fancy papad. So it's in various different shades. So why don't you try one? Go on, try one. And this is some lovely sauce. So help yourself.
It's like I've never had a papadum before.
You've never had a papadum before. You know what it is, right? This is just like stuff we eat all the time in Indian restaurants, just a very fancy version of it. How does it taste?
Yeah, I mean,
nice stuff. Like your regular Friday night out.
Right? Yeah. After the pub.
Yeah, exactly.
With your book, Future Money, I want to know your favourite story in here.
The favourite bit. It's a bit like making me pick my favourite son, right?
Yeah.
I've got 3, so hang on.
You always talk about one, though, that you enjoy more.
The middle one, right? Yeah. Or the other one, the younger one. They're all special. They're all special. So all the stories and all the founders are special in the book. But my favorite is the opening chapter, where I say, I just wanted to hand the book over
There
to
we
me.
go.
And
You can read the story out there.
I'm going to read out Money Grows on Trees is the title of my first chapter. And the subtitle is Use This Paper as Money or I Will Kill You. Use this paper as money or I will kill you. Do you know what that was referring to?
I didn't at the time.
You didn't
at the time, no.
Yeah. So use this paper as money or I will kill you is the start of what we call fiat money. So we've had money like writing for most of human civilization. So whatever, 5,000, 6,000 years of writing. And we had money as coins. Typically kings or monarchs would control the minting of those coins. And those coins were gold or silver or some kind of precious metal, or in that community, something that had value. So in Japan, for a while, rice was money. And around 800, 900 AD, the Chinese come up with paper money. The title is Money Grows on Trees because that's something, when you're a kid, you're always told by your parents, right? I'm probably saying that to my kids now. We don't have infinite money. Unless you're the Federal Reserve. But you don't have infinite money, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. But literally, in about 800, 900 AD in China, money becomes paper money for the first time in history.
So you always talk about the same quote a lot. You always say, Fintech wants to fix the system. Crypto wants to replace the system. Are you able to explain a little bit more about that? And is crypto the solution?
Sure. So in its kind of purest form, in its kind of original form, crypto was a challenge to the existing financial system and the existing internet system. Crypto was saying, we don't want to be part of this system. We're going to have a different, new system, a kind of almost a utopian, and that's just kind of the cypherpunk roots of crypto, which is, we don't need big state, we don't need big bank, we don't need big government. Thank you very much. We're going to have our own better community. And that was the kind of philosophical roots. Whereas fintech, for me, really comes out of a bunch of things that happens in the late 2000s around the global financial crisis and policy responses to that by the UK and others, and also the mobile phone and the growth of the consumer internet. And there are lots of kind of capitals of fintech, China being a big one with the growth of e-commerce and online social and online commerce. You needed a payment solution, and Alipay grew up to be the payment solution. So Alipay and WeChat Pay are like the big daddies of fintech in a way. And then in neobank land, you had the Revoluts and the Monzos here in London kind of being birthed 12 to 15 years ago. And what they were trying to do was like saying that, okay, payments don't work really well, or banking doesn't work. We're going to do it better. We're going to have a cooler user experience. We're going to have better pricing. We're going to give you a better experience, more inclusion. So it was like, I'm sure the fintech founders would have said, we're revolutionary, but to me, it felt like making the existing system better. Whereas crypto came along originally and said, no, we don't want to be part of this existing system. You guys are all like, whatever. The past, dinosaurs, TradFi. Now, it's interesting enough, we're filming this summer 2025, and are we having a stable coin, summer or something? And stable coins in a way is where crypto is basically putting a sort of a suit on and becoming part of TradFi. And it kind of started last year. And actually, you could even go back earlier and say the original P2P phase of Bitcoin was when crypto was like, I'm not part of the existing financial system. I'm directly person to person. As soon as you get Tether, even though it's not regulated, USDT, you start accounting for crypto in dollars or these new dollars, online dollars. And that's when this crypto, I'm going to change the system, began to become... Crypto went from being a rebellious teenager Tether would probably still think that they were part of it, but actually they were start of that kind of going from being a rebellious teenager to kind of graduating from college and getting your first kind of suit and first, proper work haircut.
Do you think
Yeah.
we will, and I know our mains are nearly here,
Yeah.
do you think crypto has not evolved anywhere near to the level people were planning on? Because you always say, I think we overestimate in the short term and underestimate the long term.
Crypto has become way more mainstream now than if you went 5 years ago to just before COVID, particularly in the US. It's gone way more mainstream for partly political reasons, but also just a demographic and a generation of crypto natives growing up. But in that going mainstream, it's a bit like growing up from being a teenager and putting on that first work suit. You're like, you do maybe become a little bit like, because when you're a teenager, you're railing against your dad, right? Your parents. And you're beginning to become a little bit like your TradFi dad at that point. It's a kind of very interesting phase we're in. But finance has always had these waves. And I always like talking to my more crypto native younger friends and say, like a lot of things you're doing in crypto, you're speed running financial history. I mean, technologically, it is a completely new paradigm technologically, but some of the concepts, these have been going on for hundreds of years. And in the book, I do try to sort of pull in those kind of early, because one of the things that crypto, as well as libertarianism, it's about sound money, right? It's about this railing against inflation and money printers. It's about sound money. And actually, one of the stories in the book is about how money in history often wasn't just the money issued by the local king.
Right. Big main course coming now. I know we're both on diets, maybe the seafood diet, but the waiter is just about to come with our main course.
This is dosa, right? Thank you.
It is very much the dosa. I want you to explain. Oh, wow. This looks beautiful. I would call it a crepe, but I know you're going to kill me here.
I've had to put into ChatGPT, and it says a dosa is a thin, crispy, golden brown South Indian pancake or crepe made from a fermented batter of rice and lentils.
Oh, amazing.
It's a staple dish in South Indian cuisine. There we are.
I don't even know how to start this.
I don't know how to start it either. I think you just...
Oh, you do break it?
Yeah.
So you always talk about messaging apps with the potential to revolutionize finance?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's still possible? Do you think that can really be the case?
Totally. So in the book, if you've lived the last 15 years, particularly outside the US, you know how important messaging apps are. You live on WhatsApp, or in China, WeChat, and now in the crypto world, Telegram. But they needed to have some kind of payment or money. Just like PayPal grew up in the US, Alipay grew up in China, and it scaled very, very fast to billions. And being part of that ecosystem, the messaging ecosystem or e-commerce ecosystem, allowed that growth. I think you get that a little bit in Europe, but you can really feel that in the Middle East, in Dubai, where I'm based, or in India. Everyone's on WhatsApp.
Yep.
And in the crypto world, like we were joking before, in fact, you were the first person to send me the Ton wallet, right? We were sitting in Dubai, and you were like, I think, did you send me a Ton? No.
I did. Well, you paid for dinner.
I did pay for dinner. So I don't know why. I was on a call with a friend of mine who runs a crypto firm. We were on a Telegram call, and he was in Bangkok, and somehow Ton came up again, and he said, "Oh, it's really cool. I'll send you one." And I was about to say, "I have one," and he sent me another Ton. And then I had two.
Oh, wow.
I know. I sent it back, though. I mean, I sent it back
for compliance purposes. Did you ask for it, or did he just wanted to show you it?
He just wanted to show me. My friend Phil just wanted to show me how fast it was. And literally, he basically sent it while we were talking, and it kind of encapsulates the whole kind of crypto being sending money at email speed or internet speed, right? That's the kind of whole idea of the payment bit of crypto.
Well, it's all with payments. That was where, especially with PayPal, that's where it all started. You have the services. How could you pay? And that's obviously where PayPal came out. Do you think the messaging apps with the crypto integrated is the Trojan horse for crypto?
I think messaging apps, but also I think IoT, the Internet of Things, is going to be a real enabler of crypto and stablecoins. Or gaming is the other big one.
Yeah.
Anything that involves micropayments, so messaging apps, often you're sending small amounts of money because, you're just exchanging value because maybe you bought drinks together, you want to pay for your share of that. Now you can do that with obviously Web2 apps as well. And there are a lot of really cool, in the last 10 years, Web2 apps that have come up that allow you to do it. But I think most of us, we live on these social media apps. I mean, different generations have, for the older generation now it's Facebook, and then for the, Gen X and millennials, it's, I don't know, it's Insta and WhatsApp. It's a bit like in the old days, you'd go to a shopping mall, and that's where money happened. You'd buy and sell things in shopping malls. Now you do it on apps and often inside messaging apps. So yeah, crypto becomes part of that ecosystem.
No, definitely. What is your bold crypto prediction?
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot. Well, not as much on the spot as I could, but what is it?
London. I hate following trends. So everyone and their stablecoin friend is going to Dubai right now.
Yeah.
I moved to Dubai in 2016. Love it there. People are just way too negative on London. There's so much talent here. There's so many cool people like you here. I know you live in London, but still, I think the future of crypto, like literally, it's meant to be decentralized, distributed. There are gonna be hubs and nodes everywhere. This is gonna be still London, one of the big hubs in that global network. And that's not a prediction on a particular coin or a chain. I just think that the amount of talent in this area, not just in London, but you think of the universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, UCL, and it's just, there's this amount of AI and crypto talent here. It's just easy to overlook. I'm feeling like, we're just way too negative on London.
Is this your way to stop all the Brits coming over to Dubai?
Damn,
It's
you
like,
see, Trimi,
is this your PR for London?
please
Let's get Dubai.
Traffic's really bad in Dubai now. Can you stay in London?
Because when you went over there like nearly 10 years ago, people must have thought you were a bit crazy. What were you doing in Dubai? Like, there wasn't this...
No. They were like... I mean, the number of people who were like saying you're checking out, right? You're retiring. This idea that Dubai could be a viable financial center and obviously a crypto center, people had no idea. And it became one. And I still think Dubai's got legs. Dubai's got way more to go.
Yes, no, definitely. I think is our dessert coming? Our dessert is coming.
So this is a kulfi. Just like a dosa is like a crepe, but not really a crepe. This is like an ice cream, an Indian ice cream, but not really an ice cream. That's like saying cricket is a sport. It's way more than a sport. So this is way more than ice cream. It's like the gelato is to ice cream. So.
I'm really happy you've not used ChatGPT to tell me what this is. That's great. So I probably get, and I'm assuming you do, so many projects that come to you, and they have this big idea. It's like doing this on the blockchain or doing this for crypto. And you're like, well, it doesn't really make much sense. You're just saying that as a buzzword. I had someone that came to me and go, oh, we want to put every time you've done your journeys on the blockchain. And, for most people, I'm pretty sure it's pointless. You don't really need that on the blockchain. We're here in the restaurant now, and like crypto wallets now sort of seem to be this big app now. So it's not just a payment app.
Yeah.
If you were designing this crypto wallet, thinking about a restaurant, what would you have in it?
First of all, just the payment bit is what people building in cryptos usually get wrong, which is people not in crypto, people not in finance, don't give a monkey about payments. They come to a restaurant like this, why? To eat. They don't care. The payment's the last thing they're thinking about. So how do you as an app deliver value to that person? Is actually everything that's not the payment bit, and making the payment as invisible, as seamless as possible. So you mentioned AI, you mentioned the Metaverse. So if you're thinking about, okay, I need to go out. I'm not a Londoner. I'm coming into town from somewhere in England or overseas, and I want to go to an Indian restaurant. What are my choices? So the payment app isn't just a payment app. It's a social app. It says, okay, based on everything I know about you, Martin, this is what I think you like. But hey, do you want to, maybe you're going with a guest, Ronit, what does he like? Just fill out what he likes, whether he wants this kind of food, that kind of food, Indian food, but Indian food from a particular region of India, a particular, are you watching your calories? So actually everything that before, it's like the social bit matters. And then the payment bit for the user or the consumer is just make it as easy as possible. The crypto or the payment just gets abstracted away. Now, on the other side, for the merchant, though, they care more. They want to be... So crypto's big advantage for the merchant, or even stable coins for the merchant, is I'm not paying maybe 2% fees to the credit card company. Or in many countries, you have to wait up to maybe a month to get paid as a merchant. If you're a business in South America or in Turkey, it's not, you don't get paid in 3 days, you get paid in weeks. So if you can say, listen, settlement, it's T+0, it's maybe a few seconds. You don't have to wait, boom, done. So the payment side is actually probably more important for the merchant. For the consumer, it's just like make this as simple as possible. I might have some fiat or pounds or dollars or euros or dirhams or tokens. Just pull it out of any wallet as frictionless as possible with as low cost as possible. And then my payment instrument, whether it's a card or whatever it is, the payment form factor can plug into any of those pots of money, if you like, or pots of value. So it's all about making it as easy as possible.
Do you think Metaverse is going to make a comeback or be maybe in a different way? Because as again, I mentioned earlier, I think people overestimate very much in the short term what things were. So obviously you had this Metaverse, everyone thought, wow, there's going to be banks and there's going to be, remember the banks were building up banks in there and everyone wanted a bit.
So I always said, and you can go back and fact check me, but I always said that the metaverse wasn't just about VR. And the mistake that people made was that a lot of people, both evangelists and critics of the metaverse, associated with just VR. I mean, VR is helpful when you're playing some really immersive game, or you're doing some medical procedure and the doctor, the specialist, isn't in your town, and he or she is using VR to guide another doctor in situ on the ground. So there'll be medical, educational, gaming, social use cases, but very, very specific and focused. We're not going to be strapped into VR devices all day like we're on our phones, right? But wearables are a kind of hybrid version of the metaverse. I just stream everything through my glasses. So phone calls, podcasts, music, it's brilliant.
So with all this knowledge that you have, if you have like a young founder or even an experienced founder, what advice would you give them that you kind of commonly see and you go, they're just not listening or this needs to be done?
I think often the biggest challenge for a first-time founder, so it doesn't mean if they don't have to be young or old. I think it's just if it's your first rodeo, is that you probably over-index on the technical things or the product, and you under-index. You don't focus enough on the people, the team. So it's like there's the product, there's the team, there's the TAM, the market size, but I don't know what the right analogy would be. It's not like a Formula One race where it's just over in a couple of hours. This is like a Paris Dakar rally or something. This is gonna be going on for a long time. So you need to have the mechanics, the dynamics of the team are just really hard to know in advance sometimes. Is the team going to work? And just focusing on making sure you have the right people with you on that journey, I think is the hardest thing and often the underestimated thing by not young or old, but first-time founders.
And final question, we always ask our guests a question for the next guest. Do you have one? Or what would it be? Apart from will you buy your book?
Have you read my book? No, I think that it's a question that's on my mind a lot because I mean, like many people, you don't have to have kids to have this question in your mind, but the question I have on my mind is like the jobs of the future. So the question I'd ask is, yeah, it's like, what do you know now that you didn't know when you were 20? And how would that shape that first, whether it's coming out of college or high school or whatever it is, those first few years, what do you do?
Ronit, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Really grateful for this. So yeah, look, your book, Future Money, a load of stories, a lot of what we cover there. Really grateful for all your time. And yeah, thank you very much for stopping in London and enjoying this lovely recommendation.
Having me and asked me to do this.